I definitely don't think he's going to ever be Prime Minister. And I think especially after, a string of disasters with Boris Johnson and his cronies, we've had Matt Hancock, Dominic Cummings, even Boris Johnson with Partygate. And I think we want someone with moral integrity, if that exists. And I think, to have a Chancellor who has, we're in the worst cost of living crisis. He refused to lift benefits by the rate of inflation, to find out that him and his wife are sort of in a grey area. I definitely don't think there's any coming back from this.
Why are you shaking your head?
Well, I'm shaking my head because it's not a grey area. And that's not the issue. I know that there
What's
are
not
people...
the issue?
Well, the issue...
issue.
Well, no, the issue is a potential conflict of interest. And the potential conflict of interest is that he is the person who would or should change the rules. We have had non-dom status in this...
As she said, so you weren't listening. As she said, he doesn't understand what the rest of us are, how we're living our lives, because he's thinking rich.
Yes,
that's a different point.
Yes, but aren't you saying that he's in a grey area in terms of what he's done everything right, or she's done everything right in terms of what they're paid?
But if they don't want to pay their taxes, why should the rest of us? And
it's not a question of not wanting to pay their taxes. It's
using grey areas.
Yeah, but that's the point. It's not a grey area. It's a very simple rule which is in place. The difficulty that you have is that he would be the person who would change it, and therefore he has a conflict of interest. We have had this rule in place since the French Revolution, because we are trying to attract overseas people to come here with their money, and we don't want them to be double taxed. We want to persuade them in. It's a very complex thing, and I agree with you, to have this situation where she is a non-dom is not right, and the optics are terrible. That having been said, the rule is in place. Labour never got rid of it, and they're not even saying they are going to get rid of it.
It's changing. You two, I'm listening. They're talking at complete cross purposes. You're talking about tax law, which you see as completely clear. You're talking about the politics, which is basically you can't have a guy who's not paying UK tax, or his wife isn't, and he's in charge of...
She is paying UK tax. She's paying UK tax on her UK income, which is the rule.
Who's avoiding UK tax on some of her money. And meanwhile, the rest of us are having taxes put up. That's the point.
Yes, but I agree with the fact that it looks terrible. And when I was asked about it last week, I felt that was a mistake, because you designate your tax status. So he has been advised badly throughout. I think that it is a major problem that we have to tackle, because we've got a lot of people in this country who are not paying all their tax in the UK.
I'm not saying...
Go on, Ashley.
The rules are wrong.
Go on, Ashley.
I'm not saying what he has done is in any way illegal, unlike Boris Johnson with Partygate. However, what I am saying is we need someone with moral integrity.
But is tax a moral issue?
Yes, of course it's a moral issue. You're taking money from people. You're refusing to lift benefits by the rate of inflation. We are in a cost of living crisis.
Hang on a second. Let me ask a question.
No, wait. Just let Ashley finish.
Billions, and we have had in the last couple of years of lockdown, when we have all been suffering, some more than others. Matt Hancock not following the rules, Dominic Cummings not following the rules, Boris Johnson not following the rules, and Rishi Sunak was so popular because I feel like he was very smooth talking. He gave us the furlough scheme. He gave us a message that he would do whatever he could to help us.
OK.
And now he's taking that away. And then it's also not just this, it's also the inauthentic press pictures of him filling up someone else's car.
That was a basic mistake.
James.
And also, I would agree with you. I would say that leading by example is what you need to do with a politician. However, I don't think that tax is a moral issue. As soon as you start making it a moral issue, then you start negating the need for rules. The reason that rules are there is it's a moral issue to stick by the rules. And he is not doing anything sharp by behaving in the way that he or
he's not doing anything sharp.
No. So therefore the rules are there. Now, you might think, and I think many of us will think, that the rules are wrong, and therefore the issue comes because it's a conflict of interest. But say, for example, is it wrong to reduce your tax bill?
Is it? Yeah, morally, probably yes. If
right,
you're in
okay.
charge
Have you
of
got an
taking
ISA?
Other people's...
Have you got an ISA?
No, I don't.
Have you got a pension?
No, I don't actually.
Right, well, if you don't have either of those, then you are giving away free money.
All right,
but those are free money.
OK, this is brilliant.
I'm amazed because
I hear what James is... Yeah, you do. James
because even Jeremy does.
No, I mean, generally speaking, pensions...
What we're talking about.
We could get on to, actually, the need for a pension. Have you got a pension? Have we talked?
Apparently I do, but I had no idea.
Gosh, 35-years-olds without pension.
Everybody needs to have that. It's a moral issue.
All right.
This is the man who cut off £1,000 a year to boost universal credit, and his wife is sitting on millions.
Okay.
Doesn't matter. That's just jealousy.
You would be perfectly happy, based on what you've said, for Michael Ashcroft to be Prime Minister based in Belize. Wouldn't you, James? Because he's obeying the law. Yes, you would.
No, I wouldn't.
You don't have to answer.
No,
you made it clear you would.
I'm very happy to answer.
It's not a moral issue.
Tax is not a moral issue, no.
Yeah, so you're
Tax
perfectly
is
happy.
a matter of law and fact.
He can phone in for Prime Minister's questions.
Having said that, when you are a politician, I think that you need to take decisions based on other situations. And I think that he's made the wrong call on this, by the way.
Yeah, but the thing is, that's why it's moral. It's because people see this and they think,
but
it's not
tax
right.
Is not a moral issue. Politics is a moral issue.
If I personally was responsible for plunging people into poverty, I would not be able to sleep at night. And I also wouldn't be able to sleep at night knowing that my wife could bring in millions. So you're depriving people of £1,000 a year with the universal credit boost that they took away.
But I think you're
leave the
let's leave
the
a
wife.
national problem.
We've done a lot on the wife. Let's leave Akshata for a moment. James, how is it acceptable for somebody to wear £350 shoes during a cost of living crisis?
What are you wearing?
Well, these cost about 40 quid from an internet shopping site.
Are they?
Yeah.
I mean, the thing
and
is,
I'm not the Chancellor.
But then how? Yeah, but hang on a second.
I'm not the Chancellor.
I know, but the thing is that if he can afford it, he should be able to do it. Just because somebody affords things, it doesn't necessarily mean.
Do you agree with that?
I think it's probably in poor taste. However, at least he's spending the money which is going into the economy. So I actually have no.
And a plug-in coffee cup.
Yeah, I think it's like. I think it
Four
shows,
houses.
I think it shows probably a bit of naivety, but I don't think it's necessarily
Four
bad.
cars, four houses, one in California, using somebody else's car because he doesn't...
I know, but you're just playing...
The issue
you're playing
that
this...
he's rich isn't the problem.
Okay.
That's not the problem, I agree
surely we
with you.
should want a chancellor that's rich, because you wouldn't want a chancellor who's bankrupt. Because,
No.
But
one of Mrs. Thatcher's selling points was that she was brought up by a bloke who was, ran a wholesale greengrocer in Grantham.
at least she had a selling point.
Yeah, well, but I'm just saying that sometimes that counts for a lot.